So, good morning, all of you. Today, we are going to learn one of the poems entitled as All the World is a Stage by William Shakespeare. All the World is a Stage is a well known monologue found in William Shakespeare's As You Like It. Uh, as You Like It. This speech of Jack's explores seven ages of man and their implications. So let's have a focus on this particular poem and what the poet has said in this poem. Uh, all the world is a stage is well known to all of us. The speech of this poem was actually first published as a part of As You Like It in the first folio in 1623. The scholars are unsure when the play was performed by the first time, but it was likely sometime around 1603. The play is a 5-act pastoral comedy that features a monologue in which Jacques considers the nature of the world, the role of men and women play, and how one ages being all the world's a stage. This is a highly philosophical poem, very easy to understand. So, here in this poem, the poet William Shakespeare talks about the world, which is a stage. It immediately makes us visualize the picture of a stage in front of us. The stage is there. So, on the stage, this is something about the stage. On this is a stage. Suppose this is a stage. On the stage, there is the entrance and there is the exit. So the actors enter through the entrance. The entrance means the birth, exit means life, the death. So whatever you are going to perform your role, so you are going to perform your roles on the stage. You perform your roles on the stage in a specific period of time, which is assigned to you by the supreme power. The role may be anything, but whatever the role is assigned to you, you are supposed to perform it at any cost. Maybe full of hurdles, problems, whatever it is. So this is the beginning of your life. So I recollect the lines of T.S. Eliot, that in my beginning is my end, in my end is my beginning. Everything begins, everything ends. The birth is the beginning, death is the ending. So here in this way, you have to enter through this entrance, and here you are supposed to perform your uh, role, and one day you are going to exit. That is, one day you are going to die. So this is a very simple philosophy. So that's the only reason why William Shakespeare has used the book, compared it with the stage. It's actually a metaphor. The world is the stage. So here, all the world is a stage. He talks about this thing. And Jax uh, talks about the nature of the world and what are the roles that men and women are going to perform on the stage, and how one age is the seven, how one ages being all the world is a stage. So first and foremost, I would like to read the original poem, and then I will explain it in detail, because the original poem is very important, wherein all interpretations we can go for. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. His acts being seven ages, at first the infant mewing, puking in the nurse's arms, and then the winning schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face creeping like snail, unwillingly to school, and then the lover sighing like Fernance with a awful ballad made to his mistress eyebrow. Then a soldier full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in color, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice in fair round belly with good caption linked, capon lined with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful horse, well saved, a world too wide, for his shrunk sang and big manly voice, turning again towards childish treble pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans test, sans everything. So this is the original poem, and it is taken from his drama, that is As You Like It, spoken by Jacques to Duke Senior. So this is the original poem which I have just presented here. So let's understand something more about this poem and what the poet has exactly stated in this poem. So here, first of all, it's important to understand that all the world is a stage, is a monologue of the melancholy Jacks from act number second, scene number seventh of the play As You Like It by William Shakespeare. So here is the interpretation of the poem, and a detailed focus on different aspects of the poem. Of the poem. So first and foremost, our focus is on the title of the poem and what it talks to us. The speaker Jacks begins, all the world is a stage, wherein he asserts that life is like a stage on which men and women merely play roles. So here is a comparison. Here is a simile, we can say. What kind of simile? There are two different objects. That is life on one hand, and the second is the stage. So life and stage, both things are compared with each other. Both things are compared. Life and uh, this both and stage. They are compared with each other. So the like word is used. It's a simile. So life is like a stage on which men and women merely play roles. What is our role in our life? Just to perform our duties, just to do karmas, just to work and go. The simple meaning of life is to come and go, right? Birth and death, nothing more than that. So here, life is like a stage on which men and women only play roles. They are only playing their roles. They play different parts throughout their lives. And the speaker is now. The speaker is also performing his role. Everyone is performing his roles. Every person, every man, every woman, they play their roles. In the bulk of this monologue, the speaker spends time going through the 7 ages of man. So he talks about the 7 ages of man. What happens in every age? Life is not something like this. In life, we are born as a child, right? Will we die as a child? No. It means there are certain phases, certain parts. And these certain parts, phases, have their own unique experiences. In every phase, the experience does matter. The experience is varied, different. So Shakespeare is talking about the phase, every age, 7 ages of man. So let's see what are the 7 ages of man and what exactly happens. The poem is not so new to us because Shakespeare says the same thing what actually you and me experience every day. Every individual on the earth experiences what the Shakespeare has already stated. So that's why there should not be any stress on your mind to understand the poem, because it talks what you have already experienced or what you are going to experience in your life. So 7 ages of man. One starts in infancy, that is the birth, the child, the beginning of your life. One starts in infancy, moves through childhood. So we enjoy our childhood. And into the best part of their life, when they are a lover, soldier, and judge. In the course of time, the role of a lover, the role of a soldier, the role of a judge. So in the course of time, they naturally lose their senses, lose control of their senses, and finally, or eventually, can't take care of themselves. So let's go through, or let's interpret the poem with different perspectives. So William Shakespeare uses the monologue in As You Like It to compare life to a stage on its most basic level. So here is a comparison between the life and the stage. Here is a speaker whose name is Jax, who suggests that life is a stage and men and women are players who take on different roles throughout their lives. There are different roles that men and women are supposed to perform. The concept comes in part from medieval philosophy. The Seven Ages dates from the 12th century. There was a tapestry of King Henry V depend, depicting the seven stages of man. For theological reasons, medieval philosophers constructed groups of seven, as in the seven deadly sins. It also reminds the seven deadly sins. Therefore, it is believed that the seven ages derive from the medieval philosophy. So, what sort of philosophy is this? This is a medieval philosophy. And let's see something about the structure and the form of the poem, what it is all about. First, we understand a few technical things, then we will interpret it at large. All the world is a stage is an expert from William Shakespeare's play, As You Like It. Especially, it's a monologue that is spoken by the melancholy Jax. The monologue is 28 lines long. So, how many lines are there? 28 lines long, and is in part written in blank verse. It is written in blank verse, or we can call it as unrhymed iambic pentameter. This means that the lines do not rhyme. There is no rhyming of the lines. That's in the blank verse or unrhymed iambic pentameter. No rhyming. But they do contain five sets of two beats. The first of which is unstressed and the second of which is stressed. So this is the pattern. First is the unstressed, second is followed by stressed. So it is also essential to consider how a performer used the stage to their advantage when performing these lines and the impact that formal elements like enjambment and alliteration wouldn't have on the audience's understanding of the speech. So let's focus our attention on the different literary devices William Shakespeare has used as a tool. So what are the different literary devices? Just I mentioned the names. William Shakespeare talked about simile, metaphor, repetition, anaphora, synecdoche, alliteration, onomatopoeia, asyndeton. So these are the figures of speech that have been mentioned in the poem as a literary device. So as you know, the simile that he has used in the phrase like creeping like a snail, so like is used. Soldier bearded like the pard, so like is used. So in metaphor is a figure of speech which is also used by William Shakespeare in this poem. And the entire speech itself is more like symbolism. Men and women are portrayed as players, whereas life is portrayed as the stage. Shakespeare uses the stage as an extended metaphor. So stage is an extended metaphor. So in this poem is Shakespeare uses symbolism and he compares men and women. Uh, Men and women are portrayed as players, whereas life is portrayed as the stage. Shakespeare uses this stage as an extended metaphor. A repetition is also one of the figures of speech that Shakespeare has used. That is, this figure of speech is used in this monologue. The words like sans, age, etc. are repeated for the sake of focus or for the sake of emphasis. Sans means without. What will be our condition when we grow old? There at the time, sans teeth means there will be no teeth. We will not be able to hear, we will not be smell, taste, all these things will be useless. So that is the second childishness that Shakespeare has used. So wherein the repetition is used, the repetition of the word sans. Uh, just here, I on my call. 1 minute. Because I want to connect it. Otherwise, there will be a problem. There is no light. There is no light. My battery is low. My battery is low.